Patrick Bateman wakes up at the same time every morning. He has a precise skincare routine, 9 specific steps, specific products, applied in a specific order. He exercises with intensity and discipline. He eats with control. He dresses with obsessive attention to detail. He monitors the status of every business card, every restaurant reservation, every object in his apartment. His life is by every external measure perfect, and he is still completely empty. That's the thing most people miss about American Psycho. It's not really a horror story about violence. It's a horror story about optimization. It's a story about a man who built a flawless system for living, and somewhere in the building of it lost the thing that was supposed to make it worth building in the first place. Bret Easton Ellis wrote the novel in the late 1980s as a critique of a specific culture, the Wall Street excess, hyper-masculine performance, status as identity. But the thing he was actually diagnosing goes much further and much deeper than that decade. Because the optimization trap didn't stay on Wall Street. It moved into wellness culture, into productivity content, into the language of self-improvement, into morning routines, into life design, into peak performance, into the apps that track your sleep and your steps and your screen time and your heart rate variability. And it lives right now in the phones of an entire generation that was handed the tools to optimize their lives before they had any clear idea of what a life was actually for. So this video will expose 4 traps and a final grand question you need to answer and understand about American Psycho and optimization. Trap 1. Optimization is seductive because it works, right up until it doesn't. Here's the honest thing about optimization. It genuinely produces results. You track your calories, you lose weight. You build the morning routine, you're more productive. You execute the career plan, you get the job. The feedback loops are real. The progress is measurable, and measurable progress feels, chemically, like meaning. They make sense. Dopamine doesn't distinguish between advancing towards something that matters and advancing towards something that doesn't. It just responds to forward movement. So you keep moving forward. And the optimization expands, because once the tools work in one area of your life, the logic extends naturally to others. If you can optimize sleep, you can optimize diet. If you can optimize diet, you can optimize relationships. If you can optimize relationships, you can optimize how you spend each hour, how you present yourself, what you say, what you read, who you become. Patrick Bateman is the endpoint of this logic taken to its conclusion, a person who applied the optimization framework to every dimension of his existence until there was nothing left that wasn't systematized. And the result isn't peak human performance. The result is a hollow performing in the shape of a person. Trap 2, the system quietly becomes the goal and you don't notice when it happens. There's a specific moment in every optimization spiral where something shifts. You start with a goal, you build a system to achieve it, and at some point, maintaining the system starts to matter more than the original goal. Psychologists call this means-end reversal. The means, the habits, the routines, the systems, the metrics, they gradually become ends in themselves. Not because you consciously decided that, but because the system is concrete and measurable, and the original goal was abstract and difficult to hold. Get healthy is vague. Complete the morning routine perfectly is not. Build a meaningful life is hard to measure. Hit all 12 items on the daily checklist is not. So the checklist wins, not because it's more important, but because it is more trackable. Watch Bateman in the film. There's no moment where he asks whether any of this is working, whether he's actually happy, whether the business card anxiety or the restaurant hierarchy or the relentless social performance is producing anything of genuine worth. The question doesn't arise because the system is running, and a running system feels like progress. This is a trap in its purest form, The map replaces the territory. The optimization replaces the life. Trap 3. Identity foreclosure. When you become the system before you know who you are. Here's the layer that hits hardest for people in their 20s specifically. Psychologists use the term identity foreclosure for what happens when a person commits prematurely to a version of themselves before they've had the space to explore who they actually are, what they actually value, and what actually matters to them. Usually this happens through external pressure, a parent's expectation, a prestigious career path, a version of success that looked correct from the outside. You adopt it, build a life around it, optimize toward it, and then at some point you look up and realize the identity you've been performing doesn't match anything you actually feel. The optimization made the problem worse because every system you built, every habit you formed, every goal you hit reinforced the foreclosed identity, made it harder to question, made it feel like dismantling it would mean losing everything you built. Bateman has no self beneath the performance. There's a famous ambiguity in the novel about whether his crimes are real or imagined, and Ellis's point is that it almost doesn't matter, because either way, what's real is the vacancy, the absence of any actual person inside the optimized shell. The 20s version of this isn't violent, but it is recognizable. The person who built the exact right CV and got the exact right job and is now 3 years in, successful by every metric, and wonders in quiet moments whether they actually want any of this. The person who optimized their social media presence so well that they now perform their own personality automatically and can't quite find where the performance ends and they begin. The person who followed every step of the self-improvement playbook and arrived at the destination and waited to feel what they were promised. Trap 4. The arrival fallacy. Why getting there doesn't produce what you expected. There's a concept in psychology called the arrival fallacy. It is the specific disappointment of reaching a goal you were convinced would change things, then finding out the change doesn't come, or comes briefly and then evaporates. You get the promotion, you feel good for a week. Once you get a promotion, it becomes your new normal. The gap between where you are now and where you want to be just resets, and you start chasing the next level all over again. You hit the body goal, you stand in front of the mirror, and then the eye immediately goes to the next thing. You launch the project, finish the degree, land the relationship, move to the city, and something inside you, something you thought achievement would quiet, keeps running. Hedonic adaptation is the technical term. The brain normalizes new circumstances with remarkable speed. What was previously exceptional becomes baseline. The optimization that produced real satisfaction produces diminishing returns, then none. Bateman can't feel the things that are supposed to feel good. He tries with possessions, with status, with sex, with violence, and none of it lands with the weight it's supposed to. The system is running perfectly, and it's producing nothing. This is what the optimization trap ultimately leads to, a life that looks complete from the outside and feels hollow from the inside, because the thing you are optimizing for, the feeling, the satisfaction, the sense of meaning, was never something that could be achieved through systems in the first place. The question, what was actually missing and what optimization can't produce? Viktor Frankl, who survived the Nazi concentration camps and built an entire framework of psychology around what he witnessed, made a specific argument about human motivation. People don't primarily need pleasure, he said. They don't primarily need success. They need meaning, a sense that their existence is oriented towards something that matters beyond themselves. And meaning, by its nature, cannot be optimized. It can't be tracked. It can't be scheduled. It is not produced by a 9-step skincare routine or a perfectly calibrated morning or a life that looks from every external angle exactly right. It comes from questions that the optimization framework actively discourages you from asking. Questions like, is this what I actually want? Does this matter to me, or does it just perform well? What would I do if the metrics didn't exist? Patrick Bateman never asks those questions. The system doesn't have room for them. And so he keeps running the routine, obsessively, relentlessly, perfectly, in the direction of an emptiness he can't name and can't escape. The optimization mindset was sold to your generation as the path to a better life, and it's not entirely wrong. The systems and habits and intentionality do produce results. But there's a question it can't answer, a question it actually deflects by keeping you busy with the metrics. The question is, what is all of this for? Not in a grand philosophical crisis at 3 a.m. way, just practically, honestly. What is the morning routine pointing toward? What does the career plan lead to that you actually care about? When you imagine the optimized version of your life fully realized, is that a life you actually want to live, or just a life that would be very difficult for anyone to criticize? Patrick Bateman built the second kind of life, flawlessly, and it cost him everything that would have made it worth living. You still have time to ask the question before the system runs long enough that it starts to feel like the answer. Thank you for watching. If you found value, share in the comments your thoughts on today's subject matter. We will like to hear from you. And if you know someone who will benefit from this video, send it to them. Subscribe for more. See you in the next one.